Welcome to Heathens Inc. We're here to talk, and that's what we're gonna do. This is my buddy Cody.
Friends, longtime friends.
Longtime friends.
Longtime friend, first time caller.
Second time caller.
Second time.
Our first time calling, we had to talk about everything that we didn't want you fucks to know about. But that's in the past now. Now we're here to talk.
I think eight hours total. Podcast. I mean,
it was a long one. But today we have some topics of things that we do want to discuss with all y'all.
And some random shit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Neither one of us do.
And I like it.
Yeah. So
if you're 18 or under, close your ears.
Yeah. Because viewer discretion is advised.
For all 6 of you that are listening, don't let your kids hear this.
Don't do it. They'll be happy about it, but you won't be.
Eventually. They'll be smoking weed behind your back in like 6 years and going, remember Heathens Inc., man, where those guys got murdered?
Yeah. It was fun.
Whatever.
It was fun for a while.
Yeah.
But you posted something the other day over on your Facebook about Publix. I don't know what the woman's name was, but you said that she had donated a bunch of money to a organization that was against the legalization of marijuana, right?
Yeah, but just to clarify, this was literally when I get home from work, I park out front of my apartment and I just get on Facebook for a little, like, decompression, I guess. Not like I'm walking into a family or anything.
Right.
I'm a lonely guy, but just lazy, basically. Like, I don't want to walk up these stairs. Anyways, get on there and I see some people posting about. Actually, Alan said something about it. I'm like, what? So I quick research, not even research. I looked it up, and this lady, I don't know how old she is. In my mind, she's like an old, just an old gray-haired woman. Probably like is a good cook and shit like that, but just an old biggity cunt.
Real stand-up grandma though.
Yeah, probably great. Probably a good like person, but just doesn't know she's a cunt. But still is a cunt. I mean, you're still a cunt.
Just because you don't know you're a cunt doesn't mean that you're not.
Yeah, that's not my fault. I'll try to tell her.
We're working on it.
Anyway, so they just opened up in Tallahassee the first medical marijuana dispensary. And I guess medical marijuana has been a thing here, but no dispensaries or something. I'm not real sure. Anyways, they just opened that up, and so she donates $800,000, and she's not the head of Publix or anything like that. I think her granddad was George Jenkins, who's the Publix guy. There's like streets here named after him, and schools and shit like that.
She was kind of like a Harris.
Yeah. She was an heiress for it, yes. And but she's since like I didn't know at the time has Alzheimer's. It's not funny that she has Alzheimer's, but
it's ironic that she does. It's ironic that she does because marijuana can help with Alzheimer's.
Exactly. Or,
I figured it out. She's forgot that she was a cunt.
That was my joke, and I didn't know that she had it. So I go, maybe she's got Alzheimer's and she's forgotten that, this has been, I guess it's not official, but their studies show that it helps. And so somebody was like, yeah, she does have Alzheimer's. I'm like, well, that fucking explains. She forgot. Like, because my whole deal was, yeah, she had cancer. She would probably have a different outlook on this, Alzheimer's is unfortunate and horrible. My grandpa had it and shit, I think, or whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, the way I see it is like, who donates against something?
I mean, you can donate against child molesters.
Yeah, or like that Coney. Remember Coney, the dude that was in I don't know if it was Africa or what, Coney 2012 or whatever, and this dude was like,
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, you can donate, but you're still not donating against him. You're donating towards a cause to stop him.
Right.
You can't be like, hey, I don't want Clint and Cody to have this podcast anymore. I'm going to give them money to not do that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And my other whole deal was like, okay, literally, I mean, since William Randolph Hearst, the whole big spiel about his newspaper and all that, and his name is spelled differently than mine, by the way, motherfuckers.
Different person. Not family.
But, you know, he was the original fucking anti-pot advocate, just because of the whole hemp and paper and the process and the newspaper and all this. And she thinks, and look at the war on drugs, the millions and billions of dollars that have been spent against this shit, and all that it's done is locked up people for having a plant, and she thinks $800,000 is going to make a difference.
All that did is help pay somebody's Mercedes bills.
Yeah, or slow the process of the medicinal dispensary, which means that there's a 7-year-old kid out there having seizures that could have CBD oil or whatever, and now he's, and even if it slowed it down, like I guess the whole deal was she's not against the medicinal, but she's worried about the recreational part that will come after that. So she's like, you know what you should do? Just how about you don't fucking smoke weed?
Or a better option, she had to just take a little trip to Colorado or Washington and see how these states are reacting to these recreational shops, and see that it's not everybody's just laying around fucking on the side of the street.
Violent crimes are down.
Violent crimes completely down. You know, the deadgum housing market is skyrocketed. Now that's not a great thing, because it has produced much higher taxes, I'd imagine, on land, and also the cost of the land itself. But any which ways, they've raised so much money in taxes alone that all their schools are doing so much better. Their police force is doing better, and they understand that it's not really about stopping all these people that we think are criminals, because they're not. They're just somebody medicating themselves in a certain other way that they don't want to become part of this mainstream form of medicating themselves.
Well, the physical addiction part that marijuana does not have.
None.
You know, that's to me the greatest benefit of it is that you can become emotionally or mentally addicted to anything if you think that you've got to have weed. Or you look at obsessive compulsives that think they have to turn their light switch off in odd numbers or an odd amount of times or whatever, you know, and you're right, which is fucked up, but that's psychological. So I could imagine, I haven't used pot daily or anything in probably almost 2 years, which is unfortunate because I do have anxiety and shit like that. And when I was using this to medicate, I was in San Antonio and lost 35 pounds. I got down to 215 pounds. A year ago, I was 260 pounds.
That's incredible.
I'm down to 235 now, and I don't feel good about myself, you know.
Not now.
As much as I did, and I wasn't smoking like from after work till I went to bed. It was like I smoked. I would pack a bowl in a pot, just a little pot, and I would smoke that from 5 to 10 or whatever, you know. If I did, you know, if I wrote a song,
not even smoke the whole thing.
Yeah, it would still be there the next day. I mean, I don't even know how to measure weed, dude.
And you woke up the next day?
I need about this much weed.
Can I get like 2 of these much?
That's it.
And you woke up the next day feeling good? You didn't feel like you were hungover? It was a good day the next day, wasn't it?
It's a good day. I was watching what I was eating. I was riding a lot. I enjoyed. I would sit on the porch and smoke and just look at what was around me. And I'm not saying that things are dull because I'm not smoking weed. I will say that it helped with my. I guess I have depression. I don't know. I'm actually looking into I found a website for psychologists or psychiatrists or whatever I need. I don't know, but I'm looking into that just to try and decode what I am. You know what I mean? What I've got going on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that weed's the answer, but it definitely changed my life for 2 years. I mean, of me constantly using that to medicate myself.
Well, and it kind of goes back to my testimony, so to speak. It it was weird how and a lot of people won't believe this story ever, but I'm diabetic now, and you know, I had quit smoking marijuana because I had lost my job and I had to find another one. Well, 30 days from the time that I had quit to the time that I wound up in the hospital with diabetes, what happened? What happened in that time with my body? I wasn't doing anything different. I wasn't taking other drugs. I wasn't doing anything different of my life. But for some reason, part of my body, which happens to have three cannabinoid receptors in it, my pancreas, quit working. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the cannabinoids that I was getting was just enough to keep it running, but what if it was? It's just peculiar that in 30 days time from the time that I had quit using it, which I hadn't quit using cannabis or marijuana in years before then. I'd always been smoking, and I quit 30 days to the day. Bam, wound up in the fucking hospital with type 1 diabetes. I'm not saying that.
I was with you the like 3 days before.
Yeah, you were with me the week before. Nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah, we drank a lot, but we always drink
whiskey
and we were drinking. We always drink a lot, though.
Right.
Together.
Exactly.
But just the point is I don't know if that's what happened, but that's my story, and if it makes sense to me, it makes logical sense.
And if it is it could be a coincidence.
It could be, very much so.
Could be, and I'm not saying that. But I mean, if you
nor a scientist.
Yeah, we're not fucking scientists, but if you feel that way, that's the way you feel, motherfucker. That's it. You changed one thing that you weren't doing daily anymore, and then you had a problem after that.
Yes.
I mean, by deduction, by the process of elimination, you did this every day, and then you stopped doing that, and you kept doing everything else every day, and then you had problems.
Exactly.
In my mind, problem solving would say, well, I guess I shouldn't have. That's the only variation in my daily life.
Right.
But it could have been, I mean, it could have been anything, because I think diabetes does creep up, but
it does. It does. I'm not saying that my poor diet and everything didn't help, but maybe what I'm saying is maybe
that it was holding on.
It was holding on. It was giving me that extra hope to not be that, and then it was just like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, that was your last little.
It was a good hoorah.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. But back to this lady real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
I told you I might have coined the term fiscal tyranny.
You did.
Which I don't know. I didn't like Google fiscal tyranny, but what I gathered from this lady is like, okay, I'm super wealthy. She's okay. This lady does have Alzheimer's, from what I've heard. I don't know, but for her to go, okay, this is happening. I'm gonna throw money at this because I don't like it. I'm gonna throw money at this thing that's a problem for me to make it go away. That's why the world is in the shape it is now, from wealthy people throwing money at problems. So
money at problems for solutions that they want.
For them, selfish reasons,
right?
Or just for one singular reasons. You know what I mean? Not to say that rich people aren't out there doing donations like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or whatever does, and athletes and shit like that. But on a smaller scale, like or that state or county or town or city into what they wanted it in. Does that make sense to you?
It kind of it was weird. The internet broke up right then.
Oh, well, what I'm saying is, in a smaller setting, not nationally, but county or state or city or town, a very wealthy person could form that town or city or whatever into at least push it in the direction that would benefit them more, or
Yes.
back their beliefs or something, or their stance with $800,000.
Yes, I agree.
So in a way, I mean, to me, look. If you've got money, you can make shit go your way if you want to.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah. Money. The people say that money doesn't rule the world, but we all see it. I mean, we're not stupid. We're not blind. Everybody really knows. It rules. It rules the consumer world.
It does, but I mean, wealth. Whether it was it's paper money, or whether it was gold, or whether it was how many humans you owned, or how many what you had to barter with, or land, or whatever. It's always been. I mean, there've always been a wealthy people at a certain point. It's just like that Todd Snyder song that we listened to last Friday, In the Beginning, where the guy has all this stuff and the people around him are like, hold on a second, I think I fucking want that now.
Right.
And they go kill the guy, and he's like, wait a second, got this because basically it's saying he got this because he gave himself to God. It doesn't say that, but he made up a story to tell him, like, hold on a second before you kill me and take my shit. What if you did this bullshit and you could have this stuff also? So he protected himself and invented society, basically, or at least a religious society that we know today, by promising hell if you murder, take what you can get, what you want.
I seen one of the greatest memes the other day. It was an Indian man. It had a preacher, and like a white preacher, and then an Indian man, or no, it was an Eskimo. I'm sorry, it was an Eskimo, so Native American Eskimo. Anyways, the Eskimo said, I guess that's what they like to be called, Native American, I'd imagine.
I think it's Inuit or something.
Inuit.
I don't know for sure. I have heard Eskimo is not the word, but I mean, I don't think at this point anyone's gonna think that we're like, fuck those fucking Eskimos. You know what I mean?
No to the Eskimo.
Anyone that heard us say Eskimo wouldn't be like, man, that's fucked up that they're saying that. Be like, oh, these motherfuckers don't know. I feel like even Eskimos would be like, oh yeah,
they don't know. They've never been to the Antarctica or wherever they're at. Anyways,
so the Antarctica, I promise you that.
The meme said it had the Native American Eskimo man, and it said don't something about not knowing about him, and if you don't know about him, why'd you tell me? If I was gonna go to hell and I didn't know him, why would you tell me about it? Why would you tell me that? Like, it was like saying, oh, I didn't know about it, and I wouldn't have gone to hell beforehand, but now that I know about it, since you told me that, now I'm gonna go to hell if I don't support that. That seems pretty fucked up to me.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not fucking real. So, because of that, every race, or well, actually not race, every member of this race or sect of this has the same. It's the same story over and fucking over again. I'm not a religious historian or biblical historian or historian in general. But if you just read the goddamn books or read any story, and they've all got a Jesus, they've all got a God, they all have a Virgin Mary. It's the same thing that people invented that didn't have electricity, they didn't have knives, they didn't have guns, and they went, holy shit. We could be eaten by animals, and in time, or these people could come over and just murder us. No, why do we wake up every day if we're just going to face danger and more than 50-50 chance of dying? Let's give ourselves a reason to live. That's all it is a reason to live.
Well, and it's not even so much that, too. It's also the fact that you have to remember that fear helps control society, or not
Right.
society, but populations. And if you can't control your population, you can't get them to do what you want them to do and perform the objectives that you want them to do, which we were talking about earlier was the higher money. If you got that higher money and you can put out there, hey, let's write this, and if you just say this right here, Mr. Priest, then they'll believe that, continue to do what we're doing. Or like you'll hear about in the Dan Carlin podcast, if you listen to them, they had the false prophets. They had people that were talking to God. It was almost like a direct walkie-talkie with God. He would be like, hold on, God wants me to tell you this. And
Well, they had that they have that on TV now. The
exactly.
700 Club type people. Uh, who are some of the richest people
The
in the
Bilderberg,
world?
the Rothschilds.
Joel Osteen.
Who?
The gr-
Oh,
Joel
Joel Osteen.
Osteen. Right?
Osteen.
Oh, is that his name?
Joel Osteen. I think so.
Osteen.
Oh yeah.
Osteen.
As far as
Whatever.
religious type, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look
Televangelist.
televangelists. And the fucked up thing is, so many of them in the past, in the 80s, early 90s, were caught like sucking dicks in bathrooms or funneling money or just
He hasn't.
rob.
He hasn't been caught yet.
Do you know that? Well, I'm not saying that Joel has like some of the shit he says. I'm like, that's very positive.
100%.
But you live in a motherfucking mansion, son. Jesus said some positive shit too. Guess where he would be living? Not in that.
He was living with the lepers and the lames. As
Watch
far as
his
the book
mother's
tells us.
feet, you know? I mean,
Down there in the streets.
yeah. He would be with the people that he was trying to provide for and save. People are living behind walls, and there's still people out there, dude, that I saw something. I mean, it's probably been a year ago where they're selling holy water, like on the TV. You call it, and they're all testimonials. I bought this holy water, and I got a check for $2,000 in the mail, and I'm like, no, you fucking didn't.
You gotta check in the mail because somebody owed you some money and
Or
you
something.
were dumb enough to buy water in a bottle on TV.
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure Jesus or God would be pissed if motherfuckers like, bless this water, give me $200. You know what I mean?
Right?
Oh fuck, dude, that's ridiculous. You can't you. And that's my problem with religion, is the salesman standpoint on it.
That's a problem. My problem
Now, I do
is the
know
mass hysteria.
people.
My problem is the mass
It's,
hysteria, making everybody so scared of everything to not even question what they have been told. That's what makes me mad.
I don't have a problem with faith.
You don't what?
It's with faith. I don't have a problem with faith.
And I don't either. Not with
Look.
faith. I have a problem with religion.
That's the organized part and the brainwashing, the cult side of it is fucked up. What I 100, like when my mom talks about shit, positive about things, and talks about her she thinks that her gay dad who died of AIDS is in heaven, but yet she might have she have a problem that doesn't believe. Which I'm not throwing her under the bus or anything. She knows I don't.
Right.
And she's just like, I'm like, you think I'm gonna go to heaven? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, my grandpa did, and he sucked dicks. You know? And it's a very touchy subject for us.
I imagine it is.
And there's been times where I have been a dick to her about it, like drinking, and she'll bring it up.
It's a hard contradiction because you don't know. Because I've been there too. Because I've had friends that were gay, and whenever I was religious, I was a Christian, just like your mother's Christian, right?
You're right.
And well, I had the same dilemma. Like, man, I don't know that you're gonna go to hell. Like, I don't know that you're gonna go to heaven. Because I have gay friends now that believe wholeheartedly in God and are good Christians in their sense, and that's fine. But I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask. He's up there apparently.
well, my whole deal is like, why even worry about it? Regardless of which side you're on or what thing, why talk about
No need.
it? You just do you, and I'll do me, and that'll be fun. But when you come out here and you go, you're like, oh yeah, well, birds aren't real. You know why these people think dinosaurs don't exist? Because birds evolved from dinosaurs, and if dinosaurs are real and birds evolved from them,
Yeah.
then evolution is real.
Oh, that's why they don't believe that birds are dinosaurs.
Right. Birds aren't dinosaurs, they're birds. The reason why we're not amoebas. We're humans. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there are people that think that I mean, the Bill Hicks thing I was just watching was like, what about dinosaurs? And the conservative Christian fundamentalist. That's the word I was looking for. It was like, God put those fossils there to our faith. And he's like, so God just going around like, haha, motherfucker, figure this one out.
Surprise, bitch.
He's like a fucking practical joker. Come on, man.
It's gotta be.
Why is he testing your faith?
Because
If God was real, you know what he would do? He'd be like, hey, no one's gonna starve anymore, and we can all just, you know what, motherfucker? If you're real, just go ahead and take me to heaven, bitch. You know, bring me up there, and I'll be like, holy shit, I was wrong the whole time.
You were right. I will. Yeah.
Accept you. Let's go. That it would be that simple. You got to put us through a goddamn test, through a ringer. You got to see what we're gonna do. Well, motherfucker, you gave us free will, and then you want to sit back and watch the goddamn monkeys go through the fucking maze and see if they pick the cheese or the goddamn broccoli, bitch.
I want
What
some
kind of-
cheese.
I love cheese. Nobody's gonna pick the if you put the broccoli with the cheese together.
Fucking broccoli cheese casserole, bitch.
Delicious. But if you have to pick the goddamn broccoli or the cheese, what are you gonna pick? The cheese. And God's just watching him and he's leaning back going, look at these fucking sinful fucks.
They know they
Dinosaurs.
they love that Gouda, don't they? Love that Gouda.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. It's like grown ass people are raising kids and telling them that dinosaurs aren't real.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I am one to tell you, and I'll tell everybody, I will not be lying to my son about anything. If he has a question about something, I will answer it. Now, if he wants to believe in Santa for a while, that's his own prerogative.
That's what
And
I was asking.
yeah, I'm gonna allow that because it's a childhood thing, and I believed in Santa Claus.
I think that it's a fun thing and
It is.
it can make activities, but I guess
It's one of those things
know,
that it's gonna.
say that.
He needs to know what heartbreak feels like, and that'll be one of his firsts.
That's very true. As fucked up as it sounds, but I mean, it's no
also
worse.
not. But it's also not going to be changing his life.
Yeah, and it's no worse than God planting dinosaur bones in the ground.
Exactly. Well, here's my reasoning on this. Here's my reasoning on this. If you're teaching a child to follow a religion, you're changing his life. If you're teaching him about, or if you tell him about Santa Claus, this mythical character that comes around once a year, and you only really think about him once a year, or you know what I mean? It's not an everyday situation. So it's not a life-changing thing as far as I see as introducing Santa Claus or probably not the Easter Bunny because he's kind of related with the whole Passover type thing and with church and whatnot. I don't know that I'll go that far, but for the most part, Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, that stuff's gonna come into play with our lives.
I was just thinking because this is something I actually was talking about. I can't even remember a while back with somebody, but I don't see Santa Claus as a problem because it's no different than reading Aesop's fables or Grimm's fairy tales or anything like that. Because eventually they're gonna say, "Was Pinocchio real?" And you're gonna go, "Look, you're about to start kindergarten, and somebody's gonna kick your fucking ass." If you know what I mean, or whatever. Eventually, they're gonna start questioning that, and you're, Santa's not real, or the Easter Bunny's not real, or whatever. But for some reason, no one ever goes, "Hey, God's not real. We were just using that to kind of let you know that murder and rape and stuff wasn't cool. They just continue to feed that fairy tale until you do mushrooms.
Well,
And you're like,
that's one of the funniest things that you've mentioned that right this time. You know, they say that Saint Nick and all of that came from a mushroom trip,
yeah.
and a lot of the old pictures of Saint Nick or of Christ in different areas show mushrooms on the ground by
You
them.
saw what I changed my Facebook banner to is an old Christian stained glass window or painting or whatever, and you can see mushrooms growing up through there. The red and white Santa Claus outfit, the flying reindeer going down through a chimney. They say that shamans used to come through the chimney of like a sweat hut or whatever, and people would trip out in those things, you know. And they did a lot of that in okay. Santa is from not Norse mythology, but from the Netherlands area, you know. And they used to do a lot of the sweat lodges, and Vikings used to eat the shit out of mushrooms,
Right.
dude, because they're fucking awesome.
Exactly.
Um,
I'm 100% for psychedelics. I think that they will play a big role in the near future in treating PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
that's what I was about to talk about too.
Yeah. The science that is the science that's being backed behind it right now through maps.org. You can go on there on that website right there, maps.org. There, Rick Doblin, he's leading the research in it, and it's they're doing clinical trials with MDMA now. They're doing legal clinical trials. The government is letting a company try MDMA on patients to cure PTSD. And it's not like, we'll just give it to you. You just roll on that MDMA whenever you want. It's not like that. It's a session. They come in, they do it there in that closed session, and then they leave after they get done tripping and they're off the drug. It's not like, let's just see what happens. Here's some ecstasy. It is not ecstasy. It's medical grade MDMA.
Right. Well, I was gonna say with the ecstasy. I mean, they're not been throwing on fucking Miley Cyrus, you know, or some EDM music or whatever.
Yeah, they're not.
But for years, man, right. I mean, cocaine. The government's tested cocaine. It's weird, dude. Like the coke, ecstasy. They can all fuck with that. I mean, look at back in the '60s, late '60s and '70s, where the LSD trials the government was doing, which is crazy. Fuck soldiers. They say that what's his Timothy McVeigh, I think, was part of those trials.
Not Timothy McVeigh. Timothy McVeigh was the bomber in Oklahoma City. It wasn't Timothy McVeigh, was it? It was Tim Leary.
What am I?
Tim Leary.
Well,
Timothy Leary.
Sure.
I'm 100% sure.
I'm googling things right now.
Carry on.
I've had like 10 beers.
It's okay, but Timothy Leary
I'm just fact checking.
Timothy Leary was the one at the Harvard trials. He's the one, I believe, the Harvard trials.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's not. Timothy McVeigh was the bomber in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Keep talking quick. Keep talking.
And that's what I want everybody to realize, that mushrooms, LSD, acid, whatever you're gonna call it, MDMA, Molly, not ecstasy, because ecstasy is those pressed pills that you can get off the street from somebody, and they have other shit in them like heroin or speed based. Yeah, they're made in a fucking bathtub. They might be made somewhere nice, but I doubt it. Any which ways, these other pure forms of psychedelics are able to help you see a different perspective. And a lot of people, that's really what they need in this life, is to look at life a different way, look at life through a different perspective. And you can get that with illegal drugs, they're illegal now, but I say give it fucking 5 years and something's gonna change. I think that MDMA will definitely be, and I think mushrooms definitely will be. As far as acid, I think acid is going to be the one that's kind of on the fence. But I know MDMA is already being prescribed clinically in clinical trials. I know
Right.
for a fact. And you can go on maps.org, maps.org, and you can look at all their research. It's all it's not government funded. It's privately funded, I believe, but it's it's where it's where it's where mental health is going. Instead of this using these Xanax and the Klonopin and whatever the fuck you're using, it's time to get away from that, everybody. That shit's killing people. What'd you figure out on the Timothy thing?
Yeah, I think it was Leary.
Yeah, it is.
So then maybe I was reading a conspiracy thing. Because Leary was like a researcher. He wasn't a. So I think that I read some bullshit. Maybe in some kind of military trials. But I
No,
can't.
there was a form of LSD military trials, but it was in the UK. It was in Britain.
Okay.
It was in Britain. It was during a war, and they had tried giving a few of their soldiers LSD, and I think that they just kind of like did like a trial run type thing, and it didn't really work out the way they had planned on it.
Well, no, I mean that was American too. That's why the men who stare at goats. Have you ever seen that movie with George Clooney?
Great movie. Oh, hilarious movie.
I mean, it happened for sure. Oh, dude, next podcast we're gonna talk about Waco. I heard some shit about Waco. Well, no, that was Dan Carlin that was talking about Waco. But I remember being a kid, dude, and going through like, because mom's dad was in the area, DFW and everything, and going past Waco, and I saw that shit on the news. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I was like, oh, this is crazy, dude. We're going through Waco. There's going to be like some fucked up shit happening. Only that happened was I saw a kid get hit by a car on his skateboard at a gas station. It was seriously fucked up. I don't remember like he wasn't like smashed or anything, but it was kind of fucking weird. It was surreal.
What are you talking about? He was smashed.
We were at a gas station getting gas. This kid comes across the street on a skateboard, and a car ran him over.
Like his face?
Like hit him.
Like ran over his face though? He was smashed?
Like fucking, he was crossing the street, and a car hit him going like 35 miles an hour, whatever the speed limit was.
So did the car like actually run him over?
I can't remember. I was little. You remember we talked about memories and how
it's our own perspective.
Together. Like I remember like a skateboard rolling and my older brother going to call an ambulance, but I don't know if that. I don't even know if it actually happened, but I think it did. We can come back to this.
All right.
Next time. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. Timothy McVeigh. It was obviously Timothy Leary. I think I've read some weird conspiracy shit about it. Just like how I read about, I sent you the deal about the psychic Sasquatch and shit like that, right?
He's smart, dude. He's smart.
You know that's a real book.
Yeah, I know. I know it's a book that's really been written. Yes.
Okay, so I have a book in line because my plan is to read a book a month this year, which I think I'm like a book behind. But anyways, I've got a book planned, and then I purchased.
I got one for you.
I purchased Enoch. It's
what?
It's called Enoch.
I'm excited. Tell me more.
It's about a guy, or it's this chick that was like this Bigfoot researcher, and she found a guy whose best friend is Sasquatch, and it's real.
Okay, question. The book is called Enoch?
Enoch, Enoch, or Enoch.
Okay, let me explain this. It's Enoch, 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 and there is a book that was left out of the Bible called the Book of Enoch.
Dan Carlin talked about it today too.
Yes.
Simulation, dog, because I was reading about this 2 days ago, and Carlin said Enoch on a podcast I was listening to this morning. You almost got it. And I was like, holy fuck, man. So today, Enoch, which was random as fuck, I texted my boss about dinosaur shit. And also, I Facebook messaged you about it, and then he randomly brought it up. Telling simulation.
It's all a simulation. What if it is, though? What if it really is all a simulation? What if everything that we're living right now is something that we've already lived? Something that we haven't experienced before, but somebody has a path for us, or somebody's playing us in a different dimension. What about that? What if everybody was here in our own world and we're doing these things and we think that it's all part of just reality, when in actual reality somebody's just playing us? I don't know a damn thing. But I know that with all this new virtual reality stuff, shit's gonna get fucking real weird. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen any kind of the new virtual reality type stuff? It's about to get real fucking weird, man.
Like virtual reality porn.
Yep.
They're real. First of all, there are studies already out there talking about how porn has desensitized millennials and shit. Like
you see my face right now? You see my face right now? This is the face of somebody that's seen poop come out of somebody's asshole and somebody else eat it.
Yeah,
I don't like that kind of porn. It's fucked up. Two girls, one cup fucked me up.
I remember somebody everybody had talked about it and shit, and I was like, whatever. It can't be that bad. They pulled it up, and I ran out the front door and throw up because I think I was drinking a lot at the time and I wasn't eating. So I just dry heaved and like it was disgusting. Even if that wasn't actual shit, whatever they put in there was still coming out of their anus.
Dude, you think that they stuck fucking chocolate sherbet up there? No. Like, that was poop.
No, surely that wasn't poop, man. They weren't even German.
It doesn't matter. I'm German. I don't eat shit.
Yeah, but you're not German. You're American.
Yeah.
Black,
right.
Dude.
You're right. There are some freaky ass Germans out there.
But I'm not even talking about that part. I'm talking about finishing on chicks' faces and stuff like that. Like, I read a Cracked article not too long ago. I don't know if you follow Cracked or not, but I love their little lists they do.
Who?
Cracked.
I've seen a few of them, yeah.
It's just random stuff, where they'll talk about conspiracy theories or like 5 reasons why you're a piece of shit or something, just random stuff. It's funny. Some of it's funny, some of it's not. But anyways, like most shit.
Yeah.
They were talking about like it was an actual porn star that wrote the article. It's like 5 things porn makes you think are cool to do or whatever. It's like you should, and it's basically just normal shit. Like, I watch porn. I watch a lot of porn. I've been single for a long time, but I know that if you bring a girl, if you've been dating a girl for a while and y'all are about to have sex with each other, you don't fucking pile drive her on the goddamn living room floor. You know what I mean? Unless, I guess if she told me to, I'm not just gonna let's slip off the bed here and I'm gonna jackhammer my love. You're not gonna. You just don't do that shit. And you don't do this to their vaginas. Nobody slaps vagina. I've done it.
I'm not commenting.
I've done it, but I don't think they liked it. The girls I've done it to, I never had sex with again. I probably didn't plan on having sex with them again. That's probably why I did it. But no girl that I was like, man, I'm going to take her to the movies Tuesday. I wasn't like, let's slap that pussy a little bit.
I'm going to jackhammer the fuck out of this pussy, and then maybe next week we can go eat spaghetti with my mom.
eventually you can do that. No, the pizza man didn't show up and jackhammer. Right, you know what I mean? That's not how it goes. You don't take somebody. You don't fucking go on a Sunday to book some million and then come home and like I'm gonna, oh, I'm gonna slap that pussy and jackhammer you into the seventh circle of hell. I mean, I guess you can, but you know you should do that. Basically, what it was saying is like, don't do this unless you are 100%.
That it's not
You know
ready.
what I mean? Right. I'm not talking about rain.
Okay. Sorry, I got kind of crossed over.
I'm sure there are some girls
Just
that
kidding
like
about
that,
that.
which is fucking fun.
Who, like the rape scenario?
No, the
Oh.
jackhammer scenario. All dudes call it, but I'm just saying it was basically saying like just if you they're worried about people watching porn and then that's the only way they fuck from now on.
Yeah. They're
If we had a lobster, I'm gonna spit in your butthole. You know?
Yeah,
That's not how
true.
it goes. They're worried about that desensitization.
Yeah. Where were we even going with this? We were talking.
Melody?
Huh?
Virtual reality.
Oh, and the desensitization of millennials. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's definitely happening. Anyways, through technology. Period. We're all being desensitized. We look at. And it's not even just through porn. You can look through internet. The other day, I was scrolling through fucking Facebook, and I watched this Hispanic guy jump off a water tower and kill himself.
I know, man, but I remember me showing me a Faces of Death VHS.
Ooh.
So this is nothing new, man. This is
It's
nothing
not.
new.
But it's widespread now, and anybody can see it.
Easy to access.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to see it. You should be able to see it. I'm all for internet freedom.
Well,
I'm for no restrictions on internet.
I don't know the psychology behind it, but I figure there's probably some people out there that want to see that shit. And if it's a click away, it's probably better than them going out and going, I guess I got to throw somebody off a water tower so I can see what I want to see.
Good point.
Could be saving lives. I don't fucking know.
It could be.
I'm just here to
or it could be, like I said the other day, planting a seed, you know. It plants a seed in their mind. Now they've kind of seen that. Now they're like, well, maybe. And they were talking about the other day on Rogan, I think, or an episode of something that I was talking about how serial killers will start out like going to a retail shop and cutting leather jackets to see what that feels like, cutting through a leather jacket to see if that they're like, all right, and then after a while that doesn't do it for them. It's on to the next step because you get to that level and that's it. It doesn't stop at that level. You want to go to the next level and the next level to see how far it goes. So the people that are fucked up probably already have some sort of mental incapacity that they're not grasping all of reality any fucking ways. So
there's that risk there. It's not you or I sitting there like you didn't see somebody jump off a tower and you're like, oh, I didn't want to do this, but now,
now I'm
always
running my car
that,
head onto somebody. Yeah. No.
What do they call it? Like I can't think of it. Like you had that in you a little bit. If you decided what you want to do.
Subconsciously.
You know what I mean? You are not predetermined to it, but
well,
it's something like that.
That's different.
Brought up serial killers because I was thinking the other day, which I think all the time, but
a prerequisite?
No, it's a predetermined me up now. Now I want to know the word.
So
it's like whenever you're not predestined, it's like
you're thinking about doing it.
I don't know it, and then you see it, and you're like, oh fuck. Like if you're a kid that grows up with two fucking meth head parents, and you have a higher chance at that, a higher probability. But I can't think of what it's called. Anyways,
I got you.
Serial killer. I was thinking about this the other day. Like think from 2006 serial killers have viewed. Like When I think of serial killer, I think about Zodiac killer, the fucking bind, torture, kill, fucking Dahmer, fucking Ed Gaines, fucking all these. Okay, so our parents grew up like they were alive when that shit was happening, but their generation now is like, oh, this place is so fucked up. These kids fucked up. This is weird. And I'm like, no, there aren't any truck drivers driving around and picking up young women and putting them in the fucking back of their trailer in a torture chamber and them up. You know, nobody's getting people alive. There aren't that we know of. I mean, is it? It's not even making the news now. No, shit was fucked up back in the day. The dude that did America's Most Wanted, his fucking son was kidnapped and beheaded.
What? No, oh yeah, he sure was.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that was like when I was a fucking kid or whatever. You know, like shit is this historically. This is my all time ever. Like the most peaceful era ever in the history of the planet is right now.
Society, yeah.
Written, and,
right.
and they're like, oh, this is so bad, you know, you can't even take the kids at the mall. Why John Walsh's son at the mall when it kidnapped him, raped him, and cut his head off? And they never caught that. At least we're catching these motherfuckers now.
That we are. We are catching them now. And a lot of them, a lot of it's because it's so fucking easy to catch them because they do it so blatantly. They don't have any kind of remorse for it. They just go do it.
Well, look at all the motherfuckers that are on they're typing away on their computer like, I want to fuck you, little kid, and cut your head off. And they'll just say that shit because they're fucking idiots. And they're crazy. And anybody that wants to do that is fucked up.
No doubt.
It's probably just killed. I don't know. It's probably not constitutional, but every psychiatrist says that child molester shit like that you can't fix them. But what you can do is just take them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't murder the motherfuckers, but just go put them on an island somewhere. Let them fucking trick each other on the internet on an island or whatever. I don't give. Actually, just kill them. Fucking just kill them. They're worthless at that point. Anybody that scams someone alive, cuts a kid's head off, you can kill them, and the world will be a better place for it.
I'm not opposed to that. But what I am for is finding out why these people think like this. Seeing if it's something that happened to them as a child. Maybe they got molested. Maybe they seen some shit that we don't know about. We don't know. So I have a hard time persecuting child molesters, and especially you got to think about this. You got to think about this point too, though. A lot of these people that
wait 1 second.
I'm not advocating child molesting.
I know, but you can't say persecuting.
Because that's kind of what it's like. It's kind of what it's like.
Persecuting to me, like Jews were persecuted for being Jews.
Okay, well, they're killing them for being child molesters.
Yeah.
So that's persecution.
Cool. Oh, that's cool. That's fine with everybody, I think.
Okay, well, anyways, what I'm getting at is the thing about it is like I said, we don't know what led them up to that. We don't know what started. Like I said, maybe they had a fucked up childhood. Maybe they were fucking horrifically raped. There's a guy, not Jim Norton, the comedic, the comedy. Yes, Jim Norton. He talks openly about being raped by his babysitter's boyfriend, like horrifically raped. Now, I don't quote me on that. It might not be Jim Norton, but it's somebody that looks like Jim Norton.
Well, Norton's a pretty big, like, self-proclaimed sexual deviant that will like fuck transvestites and shit like that, which is fine.
And think about this though. But what if all the stuff that I swear this is the same person. I
It
swear
probably
this is.
is,
It's
honestly.
got to be. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm right on this one. I feel like it's Jim Norton, but he didn't. He got raped by his babysitter. He wrote a book about it. He got raped by his babysitter's boyfriend, and like you said, now he's a sexual deviant. He doesn't give a fuck if you're a man or woman, if you're a transsexual or a female. It doesn't matter. He
Look,
doesn't care. And maybe that was stemmed from that rape. But now, where I'm going at with the child molestation thing is maybe it was some of these younger people that have turned into child molesters were molested by other children. So that way, now they're only now they've got this thing set in their mind now that
that's
they're
right.
only interested in children. They're only attracted to children. It's not their fault, is what I'm getting at. It's just something that happened to them, but we need to figure this out so we can correct it and make sure that the shit doesn't continue to happen.
I agree.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know, and I was partially joking about fucking just sentencing him to death.
I know.
Because I mean, look, man. I mean, some shit motherfuckers should die for. I'm not against that. But
messages.
You say check mine?
Yeah.
What I am saying is, I don't know how to do that. Let me get to it. What I am saying, I don't know how to check my messages.
Well, I was just saying we probably need to wrap this up here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's getting close. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what I am saying is that, agreed, we should figure out why. But Chris Ryan talked about, people being molested and then going, well, it felt good when I was 6 by this. So why wouldn't it feel? Okay, I understand that.
I like Chris Ryan. Chris Ryan's a smart motherfucker.
But we can't say that motherfuckers out there aren't just sadistic fucks that want to fuck kids.
I agree. There are those people.
I 100% agree with you that there's some psychological shit going on with some people. Mm-hmm. But in murder's not the answer. Or
persecution.
Not persecution. Fucking the death penalty's not the gonna solve the problem.
Right.
Figuring out and looking at it and researching it could eventually. Plus, it's so fucking. I mean, if somebody wants to fuck something and there are other people that want to fuck that, and it's obviously something so strong in them, seeing somebody die about it's not gonna. I mean, Christians were persecuted and died, and that didn't make them not believe in God. It's not gonna make this group of people not want to fuck kids or whatever.
It's not gonna eliminate the attraction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the deal. Attraction. That's why psychologists say there's no cure for it. They're attracted to this. It's not 100%. They're always going to want to do it. It's the act.
Let's just go ahead and bring this back around. And we were talking about psychedelics earlier and how they can help with post-traumatic stress. But we got to remember that post-traumatic stress disorder isn't just from war. It's from life.
Oh, I know, man.
Life that you have lived or somebody has lived, and maybe that molestation can be cured by good psychotherapy and hallucinogens. Revisiting that point in their life and overcoming it instead of just burying it behind booze or weed or cocaine or pills, prescription pills now. And maybe that's the route that we need to go, is in more of another perspective instead of just let's put it here and try to treat this.
Well, what about I found my messages. What about the people that haven't had the traumatic experience that just want to fuck kids?
Kill them. Those motherfuckers are fucked up, dude.
I mean, true. But I've never thought of that. I wonder if they have tried to maybe make a breakthrough with psychedelics on anything like that.
I doubt it. I think they're just really trying to get past the war side of it right now. The real traumatic stress from like war.
We're sitting at an hour right now on my side.
I'm an hour right now too. So I think we're gonna have to kind of wrap it up, everybody.
I mean, I could keep going. But
we'll stop this one here, and we might record another one and see if somebody else wants to listen to a different bunch of bullshit. But for this one, I'm Clint.
I'm Cody.
And this was Heathens Inc. Just doing some talking.
Just talking a little.
Just talking. And if you like it, share it with your friends so they can maybe let us know some other shit that they think that we would be interested in talking about, and we'll fucking figure it out on the next episode. But until then, remember.
Wait.
Go ahead. What do you got, Cody?
We're gonna post the audio on SoundCloud. Clint's gonna edit some shit together to get the audio and video together for what, YouTube?
Yep.
We'll be sure and tweet and Facebook the links. Support the shit out of us. And remember, if you hate us, if you love us, it doesn't matter. We love you.
Yeah, we do. We love everybody, and we're just like we said before. We're just out here trying to spread ideas. So remember, just we're out here to talk about some shit. And
remember, eventually we'll have a slogan. Clint just spent 2 minutes trying to figure one out.
I did, and I'm gonna do another one right here. Remember,
hit you with it.
Be a fucking heathen, you heathens.
Heathen fucks.
Later, Heathens Inc.